Hello and welcome to Owl on the Air. OWL stands for Older, Wiser, Local, and this is your host, Amy Schmutty. OWL is a public service program created by the Jazz Gallery Center for the Arts here in the lovely Riverwest neighborhood of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The OWL program's sole purpose is to entertain and educate senior citizens, roughly 50 and up, with a wide variety of topics, such as art, literature, music, science, history, wellness, safety, philosophy, the list goes on and on. And we are funded in part by Bader Philanthropies, so we always want to give up a big thanks to them for their continued generosity and support, as well as a big, huge thanks to Riverwest Radio for allowing us to stay together in this very special way. So folks, today we have a topic. We're going to focus on literature with our local celebrity writer, Anja Seeger, who actually hosts a show called Subtle Forces. It's a podcast, and that can be found at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday nights on Riverwest Radio. Correct, Anja?
That is correct, but if that is not a good time for you, I'm also out there on Apple Podcasts and pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts. But of course, we like to support Riverwest Radio first.
That's right. Yeah. Go there first, folks. Come on now. Support local, please. And so, Anja, I'm so happy to be speaking with you again. It's been a little while. You hosted a couple of in-person OWL presentations back in ye old days of all in person. And one time we all had to bring a dictionary of our own, close our eyes, flip it open and point, right?
Yes.
And go off of that as a writing prompt, which is so adventurous, fun, and cool. And you always have just really fun ideas. So I'm excited to talk today with your new mysterious topic called baby names.
Yes. I will begin today with the following question. Okay. If you had to rename yourself using only the name of a fruit or vegetable, what would you choose?
Oh boy. I mean, are you asking me or are you asking everybody? You're asking everybody.
Both. But you can take a moment to think about it. I mean, like, there's a lot to choose from. I mean, there's a lot of great fruits that are really cute, like kiwi, lemon, strawberry. But then, a lot of vegetables have pretty good names too, like delicata squash. You could be delicata. You could be pumpkin.
Oh, pumpkin. Oh, you sweet little pumpkin.
Yeah,
I mean, some of them are already terms of endearment. Let's just
right. And then there's other names that just are good as a solid 2-syllable strong sounding name, like okra. It's kind of like Oprah,
it's powerful.
Okra.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do?
What?
I'm gonna go rutabaga.
I love that. It sounds almost kind of like a matriarch would be named for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like imagining like an older woman in a babushka who goes by the name of rutabaga.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment and just
of course.
I'm joking. So what would you do, Anja?
Yeah, I mean, earlier today I was thinking delicata, but perhaps another. Yeah. Well, I think it might be, but radicchio is a really good one.
Ooh.
Speaking of Italian, I think radicchio is a fantastic vegetable name.
It's like, it sounds like ridiculous.
Exactly.
You're so radicchio.
Yeah, or shiitake is a fun one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then when thinking about this, Anja, I feel like if I chose rutabaga, I would have to change my last name, which, by the way, folks, I'm thinking about doing anyway. So I'm not joking. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of trying to say the word schmutty and say it right and say it in a way that actually sounds okay. So I'll let you know if I change my last name, but it might be.
What are you considering?
I'm considering going with Amy Oliver because Oliver is my son's name and I love the word Oliver and it seems to flow.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm considering Amy Therese, just going with my first and middle name and dropping that that hard name. Talk about names.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, not to go too far off on a tangent, but
No, it's fine. You know, another good vegetable name would be olive.
oh yes, of course.
Yep. I
Flow.
mean, that's a classic.
And it is
Yeah.
a popular baby name at this time.
Yeah. I feel like I should address the listener's question. And the listener's question is, are you pregnant? And the answer is no.
Okay, where did this come from?
I have a friend who was expecting a baby boy, but there was a surprise when the baby was born, and the agreement was before the child was born that if it was a boy, the husband would name it, and if it was a girl, the wife would name the child. Now, the baby was born, they were expecting a boy, they had a couple names picked out, they wanted to get to know the baby, but then the baby was born a girl. And all of a sudden, uh, it just was enough shock to confuzzle the mother because she hadn't even considered what names she liked for her daughter.
Oh
And
my.
so she had the child at the start of October,
Mhm.
and now it is midway through November, and this baby is still the baby.
Oh no way.
Yeah, so I've been inventing names because she said that she wants to name her child something as catchy and uniquely standalone as my name, which is Anja.
Right.
She told me that, and so I've been trying to come up with names because she's been checking out baby name books from the library, and this child is still unnamed. And I think sometimes when you want just the right unique name, maybe you just have to like make it up. Maybe you just have to know the child for a while to
Yeah,
get a
maybe
sense
you
of
need to
who.
like see the face.
Yeah, I mean, I know I didn't have a name for like a full week because my mom was like, I have to get to know her before I
A full week.
determine.
Oh,
Yeah, and I think she named me pretty good because Anja is a great name for a writer because it means messenger of God. No pressure.
well, right. So did you become the messenger because of your name? Was it the chicken or the egg? How did that work out? Do you think you were
Well,
influenced by that?
well, I don't know. I guess my mom's an artist, and so therefore in that way she is also a messenger of God, and I come from a
Oh,
family of messengers of God, right? Because
okay.
I'm related to all these artists.
See,
Uh,
guys.
so I guess it's appropriate. And she also was an art teacher before I was born, and she had a really precocious talented student who she really liked, whose name was Anja, and that name kind of stuck with her. So I'm named after someone else who I've never met and probably never will. I mean, I don't know, but
Right.
um yeah. So that's how I got my name, but I've been having a lot of fun coming up with possible names um for my friend's baby, and I can read you some of them.
Please do.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
So let me yeah, okay. So the first list, and I know she's part Italian and I'm part Italian, so I kind of ran with it. I don't actually know Italian, and I just started inventing names that I thought sounded kind of Italian, and then I just started inventing names in general, and there's one for each letter of the alphabet.
Oh,
Uh,
you've been putting a lot into this. Wow.
oh no, I sat down and I knocked this out like in 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, we're talking with a professional here. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
Word master.
yeah, it just comes fast. But so the first one is aronia, which is also a berry that is very high in vitamin C. Then there's brunetta, uh
Oh,
celadine, and I did look up brunetta, and there's a politician in Italy with that as a last name, but I was like, that'd be a great first name, brunetta. I think it means brunette.
right,
uh,
right. Would she have to stick with being a brunette for the rest of her life? Or
well, I
would
think
it be
knowing,
shocking and and
yeah,
ironic to be super bright blonde?
yeah, I don't know, but I think knowing her parents, it's likely that she would at least naturally be.
Right.
Yeah. Then there's like celadine, delvidi, erlastina, fladata.
Oh
I thought
boy.
that was fun to say. Fladata. Then there's a garlu, harazine, iflanta, jigsaw. And I want to put it out there to any listeners, if you name your child Jigsaw or Carmelia, after listening to the show, let me know. Lafala, Muxa, Neolanda, Apheliza, Pernica, Qualica, Rustine, Sylvunia, Tesfully. I was thinking of that artist, Gabby Tesfaye, for some reason. I couldn't stop thinking about her. So then I was like, I'll call this child Testfully. Urala, Vula,
Wool.
Wixta. Wixta is the one that like sticks in my mind after making this list. Wixta. Zila.
How would you spell Wixta?
Wixda.
Wow.
Wixta.
Wixta. That's kind of bad butt. It's bad butt
Bad butt.
instead of bad ASS because we're on the radio, right? It's bad butt.
Oh, I believe you can say ass on Riverwest Radio because I've heard other people say it.
I hope so, Anja. I really hope so. But for now, I'm going with bad butt. So now you know what I mean.
Okay.
Wixta is bad butt.
Zila, Yuda, Zafranza. No, I should say I was confused, Amy, because I was like, does that name mean bad butt? Like, does someone have bad hygiene? Like, oh, that's a bad name? No. I get you.
It was a compliment. It sounds powerful, like badass. Oops.
Yeah. Yeah. Wixta is, and I feel like Zafranza is too. Zafranza sounds like you should be a count or something. Count Zafranza.
Nobody's messing with Zafranza.
No.
Oh my.
Then the next morning I sat down, and I feel like this is a great writing exercise for anyone who wants to try it. Just invent one name for each letter of the alphabet.
Oh,
so yeah. So the next morning I came up with 26 more. So I remember she really liked my name, so I suggested instead of Anja, she could name her child Ajna, which is my name backwards.
Oh.
And I think it's also the name of the third eye chakra.
What?
Yeah, like hippies always get excited when they like see my name because they're like, your name is the third eye chakra backwards.
Whoa, and that's all meant to be too, right?
I guess so. Anja and Ajna.
When you came into this world, your mother knew.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She didn't know anything, but her collective unconscious did.
That's right.
Yeah. Balaka. I feel like that has a good bounce to it. Then I
Oh,
was then I was kind of thinking of that one. Is it the Clash? Rock the Casbah. Rock.
yeah.
I was like, what if you named your daughter Casbah?
That's
Which I don't think is even the word that they're singing, but that's what I've always heard it
oh,
as.
it's Casbah, I think. Casbah.
Well,
Rock the Casbah.
this is Caspa, like
Okay.
PA, which I guess is more of a masculine sound now that I think of it, because like Papa.
Oh,
But,
Casbah. So
but I think it's
Casbah if
cute.
it's a girl, Casbah if it's a boy.
Yeah. Then
Right.
there's a Dolma. I have a Buddhist nun friend whose Buddhist name is Dolma, but that's also a delicious grape leaf filled with rice. Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, but we also call her Dulba.
Dolba.
Dulba, just as like an affectionate alternative
Oh.
to Dolma.
Well, the best names are ones that come packed with good nicknames in terms of endearment that just flow right in easily.
Yeah, do you have nicknames?
Ames. I like when people call me Ames, you know. That's my
Yeah.
favorite. They've even made me feel a slight bit better about my last name by saying Tutti Frutti Schmooty. That one makes me almost want to keep it, but whatever.
I think Shmoody is really cute.
Ooh. Talk to my insecurities for a minute. And
All right,
I don't
Ames.
know.
Let me talk
Thanks.
to your
Aw, best
let me
answer
talk to your
ever.
securities. Let me talk to your securities that will take over from your insecurities. Once I convince you that Schmoody is not only tutti frutti, but it
Woo!
also puts you in a good moody and
Oh,
makes you want to
girl.
shake your booty.
Oh, girl. That's it. You just pushed me over the edge. I'm keeping it.
Yeah, don't be afraid of who you are. You're a little clever. You're a little weird, and Schmoody suits you.
Okay. Thanks, Anja.
Yeah,
Not
you're a whole lot of clever and a whole lot of weird, I should say.
Thank you. I'll take
Yeah,
that as a compliment. But
yeah,
what I mean, well, can we, while we're talking about
yeah.
names, Missy, can we talk about the Anja, not Anja, in case anybody doesn't know the
Of
story yet?
course, of course. Well, when I was an insecure 18-year-old artist, I wanted to be more than Anja Seeger. But I also felt like if you Google Anja Seeger, you get a lot of people in Germany. It's like an
Hmm,
extremely common name. It's like being named Ann Smith or something.
really?
Yeah, so it's not a common American name, but it's a super common German name. And so I felt like maybe it would be good if I were to distinguish myself. And also I was thinking deeply as one does about who I am and what my art is about and all those big 18-year-old topics that keep reoccurring the rest of your life.
Or
But I
47-year-old topics.
exactly
They're
or
silly.
34, but like I was feeling like um that it isn't even me. Like when I'm making like art that I feel is really like yes
Yeah.
when I'm really hitting the right words or I'm really making a good performance or I'm really making an awesome drawing, it
Mhm,
always feels like there's like some external force that just takes over and moves me.
mhm,
And
mhm.
I wanted to acknowledge that fact in my name because I didn't want to take full credit. I wanted it to be a collaboration with the divine.
Oh, I love that.
So
I was
I
just gonna say that, the messenger from God, Anja. What are you gonna do?
exactly. So not Anja is all about the divine and also about not about being able to overcome our personal my personal limitations to be present in the moment of creation
Wow.
and to be yeah, basically to make exist what is called for, because
Sure.
when I'm just my ego filled self, I have a lot. I mean, I feel like I have a lot more anxiety, and I feel like I'm a pretty anxious person, and I've I grew up feeling very limited.
Mm,
I'm actually like I I've always been like pretty cowardly, like when it comes to like basic things like believing in myself, like if I could drive, if I could cross the street or anything like that. And I
mm,
felt like when I was creating art, it was like the one realm where
mhm.
I could be fearless. And so
Amen.
I felt like acknowledging the spiritual transcendence that takes place is always going to be a reminder to me when I'm creating art that it's not me creating it, that it is a collaboration, and
Like,
that I owe it to the divine to bring my best, most open self.
I am nodding my head fiercely right now. Can you hear that? Whoa. Yeah, I'm I'm in total agreement with you because there is something that takes over. It's not just you. I really love that story. And I wanted to make sure that you shared it with people as we're talking about names, because
Yeah.
I know I've heard it before and you described it even better than the last time that I heard it. And so thank you for that. It's very inspiring, for people who have that anxiety, in everyday life about the little things. Find that place that you shine, and give it some credit, and also give, if you believe, the divine some credit. I love that
Yeah.
idea. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like, even if you don't believe in the divine, you believe in in some sort of magic when you create art.
I think so. It's
Yeah.
almost impossible not to.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I feel like if that's something you really struggle with, then you probably should be making more art. You
Oh, it's called therapy, man.
I know, yes. Yes.
Well, okay, so now that you've delved with, maybe a full 5 minutes of your life with about what would take other people 5 hours to come up with many, many, many really fun names. What have you narrowed it down? Have you talked with your friends about some of your favorites, or where are you at now with all that?
Oh, you mean my friend who is trying to name her baby?
Yeah.
I haven't heard a thing. I just sent her my two lists, and I don't even expect her to use any of them, or even to like any of them. I just felt like if anything, maybe sending her these lists would open up some channel within herself to her not self
Mhm.
to name
Mhm.
name her child, because she is a artist and her husband's an artist, and I presume this child will have some strong connection with creativity, and I can understand the daunting feeling of wanting to make sure you give your very possibly, even if it's not professional, but your artistic child a good artist name.
Yeah.
So I can understand that, but I think sometimes just having examples of how other people's minds work
Right.
um starts the creative process within yourself. But I mean, it's just, I've never had a child. You have. You can tell me just how stressful and
Mhm.
all consuming it is to have a little baby who needs you every second.
Mhm.
And so and one wonderful, but like, I don't think she even has had much time to answer my questions. But I did ask her perhaps if she has any ideas in terms of if there's any sort of personality she's getting from her daughter, any sense of a personality, or what
From within the womb,
values.
like already from within the womb, like little perceptions, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, she's been living with this child out in the world, for a month and a half. There might be. I haven't spent a lot of time with newborns,
Mhm.
but I don't know when it is you start noticing a person's personality, but I feel like even in their newborn state, perhaps you can get glimmers.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you that when Oliver was
Hmm.
born, he didn't have a name for about 2.5 days. The word Oliver was on our high on our list of maybe 3 names. And I'll tell you why we decided on Oliver.
Yeah.
His head was so round. It was like an O.
Oh,
That was the one. And it felt so right as soon as we nailed it in. And plus the nickname, talk about having good nicknames attached to names. Ollie is a skateboard move for anybody who doesn't know that.
yeah.
And his dad is well, was an excellent skateboarder and still is from what I hear. So it's like not to like say, oh son, you must be a skateboarder, but just the fun that comes along with Ollie.
Yeah.
So that's our
I
little
love that
story.
story.
And I just love saying the word Oliver. It just flows so much. Like I said, I almost want to make it my last name, as weird as that may sound.
When
But
when did you start noticing like bits of your son's personality?
oh, well, the hyperactiveness definitely showed within the womb. A lot of kickity kick, a lot of jumping around, a lot of activity. And so, yeah. And then once we, just a tiny tangent, once we named him Oliver, we looked it up, and the word Oliver means army of elves.
Whoa,
Army
that's
of elves.
another like meant to be moment.
Yeah, and one of his ears is a slight bit pointy on the top, like an elf.
Whoa. And he has the energy of an army of elves.
Yes, a whole army of them, not just one. No, a lot of elvish activity. So, yes, so it all came out, like serendipity, really, honestly. So it really is a fascinating topic. I mean, how do you decide on that? And I
Yeah.
wish your friends the best of luck in figuring that out.
Yeah.
We're actually at the end of our show. I just want to say thank you so much, Anja. It's always fun talking with you. Any last thoughts? We have about 30 seconds left. No pressure.
Just rename yourself as often as you want. It's
Hey,
fun.
I agree. I agree. I might go for it. I might be Amy, not Schmutty. And that'd be
Sassy.
that's the biggest jerk move ever. I'd just be completely copying you. It'd be just such a sham. No.
Well,
Well,
that'd be Amy, not Amy.
yeah,
And
yeah.
even then, it'd just be a connection with the divine, right?
That's right. Back to that. Well, thanks, Anja. It's been a pleasure talking with you. This has been Owl on the Air.